watching this video, you are about to watch or see how to maintain your time. And so this was a highly sought after lesson that I work with my clients. I do consulting on the side. And so through my clients and even some friends, here we are, on-demand teaching on 7 steps on time management. So as I share my screen, we shall begin. And what I really want to point out is time management starts with vision. And so you have to have the end result in mind. And what that simply means is if you don't necessarily know where you're going, how do you know that you arrived? That's the easiest way to say it. There we go. And so I hope you guys can see that. Really take time to write out what is a good day. What is a phenomenal day for you? What is a phenomenal week, month? Write that vision down. You have to know it, and so you can identify it. So often we're people who are probably watching this video, you're extremely stressed because there's a lot to do. And so you're not living, you're more like surviving, right? And so start with the vision of what your life will look like and what you want it to be. And then we're going to backtrack from there. So have this in mind. So step 1, mapping. This again, define that end result of the day, of your time, and really what you desire, because that's how you become effective. The word effective simply means the desired result was achieved. And so if you don't know that desired result, you got to stop right here and write that down. So write down all the things that you in your world will make you happy. Is it working out? Is it swimming? Is it running? Is it eating this type of food? Whatever it is, take a moment to do that. Step 2, structuring. So we're going to create categories. So after you've done step 1, you should have a heavy list of all these different things, from drinking water to, everything. List everything that makes you happy, that is your desired result for your day, your week, your month, your year. And now categorize those things. And the moment you do that, you're going to identify a shortfall. You're going to see, oh my goodness, I am all work and no play, or I'm too much play and where is the work? And so that brings you to the 3rd point, bring balance. Add the play. So stop and think about those things that you don't have. For a lot of us, it's going to be rest. Rest. Yes, you have to be intentional even in rest. That's not going to be the first time I mention that too, because for people who have a hard time managing time, we think rest is not necessary for us or even within reach. And so yes, you can rest, but you have to be intentional. So step 2 is structuring. Make sure you categorize and group all these things together. Step 3, prioritize. And so now hopefully your groups are not more than 10. They might be, but hopefully not. So the vision of this is to, some of those things in there are not done all the time. They're like their appointments, their taxes, those things that are, once you finish them, they're done. You put them on that left side. That is your task. And then those things that you do every week, you do every day, you do every month, those are your maintenance. Those are the things that you are repeatedly doing for your upkeep, for your family's upkeep, for your happiness, your wellness. Those things like the bank runs, the grocery runs, you put on another side. And this is going to help you to declutter that list and make it a lot easier to prioritize. Because when you're prioritizing, it's identifying what must be done today. Usually when you start off, you got like a list of 20 things you need to do and you're like, but then if you comb through it, what really has to be done within the next 24 hours? Okay, it's like 1 or 2 things. And then you say to yourself, if you're not a procrastinator, hopefully you're not. And then you'll say to yourself, okay, what has to be done by the end of the week, 5 p.m. on Friday? Okay, you got that list. Then what has to be done by the end of the month? That's another way of, again, taking those tasks and making them just easier to swallow, because most of us want everything done in one day, but we're human and we can't do that. So to take away the feeling of being overwhelmed, look at what has to be done today and go from there. Step 4, blocks. So you have your list of things you want to do. You group them into categories. And now, do you remember high school? You remember when you had to go to gym class and you had English class and physics class, and like every time you went into another room, you had another like, whoo, okay, I'm glad I'm out of gym because I can't stand swimming, or whoo, I'm glad I'm out of chemistry because I don't like formulas. It's just kind of like that. Create these 30 to 90-minute blocks. And so an example of this would be, it might be journaling, praying, quiet resting time. That might be considered your me time. Or it could be, whatever you listed as, you could say that I'm going to give myself me time, 30 minutes every day. And every day in that block, I get to choose, okay, what I want to do. So the blocks just make it easy to schedule, because you're not, a lot of times, the reason why people don't like scheduling is because they're like, I don't want to write this down, commit myself to this, and then I don't want to do it, and then I change and I'm scratching out and it's white out and it's just hectic. But if you just give yourself this block, just like in high school, you have first period, second period, third period, it's the same thing, but you are now defining those periods. What are those things? Is it your me time? Is it your business time? Is it your when is your family time? When is it your workout time? When is it, you define your self-improvement time or your professional improvement time. When is those things going to occur? And so when you're able to put a block and say this every, Wednesday from 2 to 4, I do this. Every first Thursday, I'm from 1 to 2, I'm doing this. It just makes it a lot easier to say, at least I know this is self-improvement time, or this is business research time, or this is family time. And so you don't always have to have that activity planned out ahead of time, but it just kind of gets you mentally prepared that I should be doing this. I have now left gym class and I'm going to science class. Like, it just gets you mentally prepared. So when you're developing your agenda, you're developing your calendar, you're hitting all those areas on that list that you wanted. So you're able to kind of figure out what days you want to have it on, what times you want to have it on, and you can literally cross off all those things off your list because you have dedicated time to it. Step 5, plug it in. So now you got those blocks. And so just like us humans, we change on a daily basis, and your calendar does too. And that's why the blocks are so convenient, because now you can plug in various activities through, depending on the day. So for me time might be reading my favorite book on Mondays and Tuesdays, but on Fridays and Saturdays, me time is talking with my friend, hanging out with my friend. It's a completely different thing, but I have it already. This is scheduled, so it's going to happen. I'm being intentional. So also make sure you add those various those tasks that you prioritized, those things that are one and done, that you're not going to have to like redo, like the maintenance activities. Make sure you go in and you plug those into the appropriate category. If it's finances, put it in business. If it's a meeting, different, color coding is great when you do this. It's not absolute, but if you love being able to like look at your calendar at a glance and say, ooh, I got 5 appointments, you can do that by just looking at, oh, I got 5 green boxes. So color coding will definitely help you in this when you're using a calendar for plugging in your activities. Step 6, maintaining. So this is only as good as you use it, and so you have to look at your new schedule often. When I mean often, I'm like, you should look at it every day for the next day. At the beginning of each day, you should remind yourself of the different appointments, blocks, things that you have pre-scheduled, and then you should also look ahead. So for every week, you should know the week before. So if someone says, hey, what are you doing tomorrow at 2? You can say automatically, if you're getting to that place of memorizing, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do it then because I have, something already, but what about 4? So when you get good at it, you memorize it. But if you're not good, you can look and say, oh, let me see. And, instead of just saying it's good and then you're double booked for something, right? And so making sure that you're trying to plan at minimum a week ahead. The goal is to start doing a month ahead, especially when you're a really busy person. And when you're a really busy person, you know when you're busy, because that's probably why you're watching this video, because you want to declutter your day. You want to be able to do like this. Because when you have time management, you're not anxious trying to figure out what's next. You know what's next. And that's what gives you the peace and the calm about it, that there's structure. You understand what appointment that's happening. You understand what you need to prepare for. You just understand what's coming next because you've already been intentional and scheduled it. So you got to look at it to know what you wrote down. You have to remind yourself often. Look at it often. Step 7. Grace. Life is what you make it. And someone else said it like this: life is a total of all the decisions that you have made. It's a sum total of every decision you've made. So what does that simply mean? Take responsibility. Don't blame your upbringing. Don't blame God. Don't blame other stuff. Just say, hey, this is the hole I'm in. This is what I'm in, but it's okay because I'm forgiving myself when you miss it. There's going to be days that you're completely off your calendar. You're completely off task. It's like, don't worry about it. Just keep going. You literally, every day is a new day. So you don't look back and say, oh, I wish I could have, I should have, would have. You just continue to try to follow your plan as best as possible. And again, it's your plan. And so it's kind of like how someone else said, earth can be heaven or hell. It's what you make it. And so if you have, opportunities where you're taking long walks because this is your me time and you like walking by the water, and you scheduled yourself to go to the beach or the lakefront, and you scheduled yourself to have some quiet time at some tea or coffee at one of your favorite restaurants, then make it your life, make it grand. But if you didn't schedule that time, it's no one else's fault but yours, right? And so you take that responsibility. When you forgot to schedule something, when you double book, all that other stuff, you forgive yourself when you miss it. Not if you miss it, but when, because you're human. And then lastly, again, you just keep going. Give yourself the grace to say every day is a new day, and don't hold it over yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Just keep trying. The more you do this, the more your calendar will evolve with you, and it's a guaranteed stress reducer. Also add, you must have appointments to check your calendar, like to schedule it. So you're looking at it on an ongoing basis, but you should have like Sunday evening. It's usually good to do it at night, or Monday evening, and you sit and you just look over and you fill in all the important dates. You fill in the birthdays, the anniversaries, the vacations, whatever it is. Have a moment to just fill out those dates on a monthly basis, if not weekly basis, and guarantee your stress and your time will be so much better. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope this was clear and effective for your time management. Thank you.